Okay, so hello everyone. I'm gonna have all the ladies introduce themselves. Um, who are we? It's princesses and ladies with Ladies of Tomorrow, right? No, are we Ladies of Tomorrow?
Yeah.
So princesses and ladies with Ladies of Tomorrow mentorship group. So we're going to introduce ourselves, and I'm just going to go by who I see first on here. I see Mackenzie. You want to introduce yourself, Mackenzie, and just say a little bit about you. It doesn't have to be anything too much.
My name's Mackenzie, and I'm going to be a senior in high school this upcoming fall.
Yes.
So, yeah.
Next is Kayla.
Hi, my name is Kayla, and I will also be a senior coming this fall.
Then Janessa.
Hi, I'm Janessa. That's my mom, and I'm also gonna be a senior.
Sierra.
Hi, I'm Sierra. That's my sister, and that's my mom and my cousin, and I'm gonna be an 8th grader in the fall. Yeah.
Cheyenne.
Hi, my name is Cheyenne. That Cynthia is my aunt, and Janessa and Sierra are my cousins. I will be a freshman in the fall.
Okay, and Noah.
I'm Noah, and I'll be a freshman in fall.
Ooh, 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 ooh. Oh, freshmen and seniors, the beginning and the end of high school. How lovely is that? And so today, we're coming to talk. What's our topic, Janessa?
Our topic is how the Black Lives Matter movement impacts the youth.
Yes, so we have our youth here, and you guys are just gonna share, and if anybody have any questions after watching this on social media or even after hearing it on the podcast, they can ask, and then we can try to answer it. So we thank everyone for watching and listening to us, and we also thank you, and I thank you ladies for being brave and bold enough to join in on the conversation. And so anyone can start, just basically sharing, just maybe giving us 2 points on how the Black Lives Matter movement has impacted you, and even on recent events, what that has been like for you. Anyone want to
start? I can go first. How this has impacted me, it's made me realize a lot of things. Like, I was already aware of racism, but I guess I never truly understood how far it went within, like, our police system, our government, just the daily things that we do and how that plays a part in our lives. So this has kind of been a wake-up call. And also, it's made me realize some of the people in my life don't share the same views as me when it comes to racism. So it's kind of like made me realize that as well. So yeah.
Good job, Noah. And I just kind of muted everyone so we wouldn't get that feedback. Who wants to go next?
I guess I'll go next. For me, it's honestly the same way. It's been really eye-opening to see how much below the surface that we're actually getting to see. You know, like we've seen police brutality, and we've seen it, we've gone over it, but nothing has been done about it. But now a lot of these things are being, talked about and brought to light, and it's really it's crazy to see, but it makes me very hopeful for the future, honestly. And even getting into the youth part, just I find it funny how much Gen Z, how we've come together to fight against fight against racism, and how like how far we've come, you know. And I just think that it's promising, you know, and I feel like the future is very promising. But it doesn't stop the disorienting feeling of all this stuff just going down at the same time. Like I feel like it's just one after another, and then it's just you hear about the next thing and the next thing and the next thing, and it's like, wow, like all this stuff was going down under our noses and we had no clue about it. And it's really impacted me, and it's made me kind of like take a step back for real this time, you know, when racism and stuff has come up, because obviously you can go ahead and be like, oh, look, racism is bad, like, you go, racism is bad, like, yeah, it's bad, but like now I'm kind of like, oh snap, like this is the real deal now, like this is it's become, it's getting closer and closer to home, you know what I mean? And it's just it's it's wild to see. That's all I have to say.
Muted. Okay, so who wants to go next?
Okay, I guess I'll go next. So, my generation, yeah, we talk about the racism and the police brutality and how it's like everything is going on, but like with like Janessa's generation, just I know, but like you guys are different, you know, like you're
Age
older.
group, just the age group, yeah.
Yeah, the age group, but like they have more in-depth discussions, and I think with my age group, it's like we know what's going on, but we really don't like pay attention to how it can affect us and what it's going to do in the future. And I think we should more. So I want to get like more younger people to understand like the things that's actually going on and that's actually can affect us in the future, and that it's really important, and we shouldn't just like, oh, see this happen today, I wonder what's going to happen tomorrow, like just move on to the next thing like we usually do, and just like go more in depth in a discussion.
I agree. We need to go more in depth, right? Because a lot of times things happen and then we get upset for a while and then we go on with our lives. And so even that's a question, like, how do we get more in depth? How do we make sure that this time, after this week or next week, everyone don't go on with their lives? Janessa, you can answer the first question. You don't have to answer this one.
Oh, okay. 2 ways that I've been impacted so far. And that's like, I watched a documentary about the 13th Amendment, and that really opened my eyes to how little it's like everything has changed since the 13th Amendment was passed. Like they got rid of slavery, but then the war on drugs started happening, and then they threw all these African Americans into the prison systems. And then when you're in a prison, you can do work, you can be breaking all these labor laws, and basically you're a slave again. You know, all these companies allow for prison labor, and that just really made me like, wow, so like how much has actually changed, because there's still the lynching going on, you're still targeting Black people, and obviously they're not free because we're still in the prison cells in chains for minute crimes, like crimes that we shouldn't be locked up for 38 plus years. So that's the first thing that I've noticed. And then the second thing is how, as a generation, or not even, because I feel like a lot of older people, but especially the youth, have like come together, and how much we can change if we all come together. Like we got those police officers arrested in like, in what, 2 weeks, because we all like protested and stood together. Yes, it should have been way shorter than that, should have happened immediately, but it's nice to see that when we all come together, and when you're an active part of the change, like if you're signing petitions and if you're going to the protest and if you're seeing this happen and then you actually see the result, it makes you feel like you're part of that change, because you are. So yeah. You're still muted, Mommy.
Oh, Noah, did you want to say something on that one?
No.
No? Okay. Let's try unmuting everybody and see how it sounds again, and then we could go on to the next question. How do you feel? Just let me ask this question. Just being a person, a black person, a young black person, a young black woman, a young black lady. How do you feel in your skin? You know, how has even that affected you? And how people have you ever had any experiences because of the color of your skin or the texture of your hair or anything about you being black that has affected you in any way, good or bad?
Cheyenne. Unmute yourself, Cheyenne.
My bad.
Okay, Cheyenne, you want to answer the first question?
Yeah, about the racism and stuff. Yeah. So basically the whole George Floyd incident has like impacted me in a way for sure. It like has made me realize how the civil rights movement is like still currently happening, even though that did happen like in like what the 1960s through like 70s. It's still like going on because African Americans and all colored people are still getting attacked for no reason, you know? And that's just awful. It just made me realize how bad the police brutality really is. Like, I was always aware that even though the civil rights movement has passed and it has been years since slavery, things are still unfair in the United States. I've always been aware of that. But like after the George Floyd incident, it just really made me realize how bad this like really is, you know? And I feel like it made the whole world realize how bad this really is. It's just gotten to a point where everyone's got to come together and you know, change the world and change the way we all interact with one another. You know, all the police and all the colored people. Like, I'm so sick of police having to be the threat, you know? So I'm glad that this was an eye-opener for everyone, and it just exposed how bad the relations between the police and black people really are, like how bad and dangerous it really is. So yeah.
Okay, the next question. Janessa, you want to ask the question for me?
The one you asked?
No, the second question. Okay, so have you guys done anything so far since this has happened? I know in regards to the Black Lives Movement or Black Lives Matter movement, or just with recent events, have you done anything to stand up for Black people, to stand up for yourself, to stand up for your family?
Can I answer?
Mm-hmm.
I've signed a lot of petitions. Pretty much all the petitions I saw that people were putting out there about Black Lives Matter movement, I signed. I was texting the number for George Floyd. And I've definitely had a couple conversations just in general with people on the topic of the Black Lives Matter movement and like racism in general, just to like help educate people, because some people had questions and some people just didn't agree. And so I just like, I tried to be as nice as possible and just give as much information as I could to educate. So that's what I've been doing.
That's good. That's good. Yeah. Signing petitions are important, and educating others are important. Why do you think that is? Why do you think educating other people is important, or even educating yourself, reading more, or even having conversations? Why do you guys think that's important?
Because some people just, I'm sorry.
Go ahead, Mackenzie.
some people just aren't aware, or they're just ignorant and refusing to believe certain things. So, or they're reading the wrong information. So sometimes you have to do a little bit of digging to find information that's not biased or twisted in some sort of way. But if you have that information, try to give it out to people, because in my opinion, like, for racism is taught. I don't believe anyone is like born racist. Those values are put onto you, and sometimes it takes someone to show you how certain things are wrong for you to realize and change your views on things. So I think it's important to give another point of view, or give facts, or give information to other people who might not know. But it is ultimately their responsibility to take that information and keep their views or change them in the end.
Yeah. I agree, Mackenzie. Anyone else in terms of what you've been doing so far?
Well, I know for my family, we attended, and Cheyenne, we attended like a Kneel for Nine event that our city and church kind of put together, and that was really nice. We all like kneeled for 9 minutes in remembrance of George Floyd, and kind of there was like a speech given, and it was really nice. It was really peaceful, and the police were there. They were like with us, kneeling with us and everything. So that was really good to see. And then I also went to another protest with my mom and dad. The Lake County chapter of Black Lives Matter hosted that one, and that one was also really peaceful and really good to be a part of. I documented that one, and the Kneel for Nine. Like, I posted everything on social media, just so like my friends, my peers could see, like, if they weren't able to go, just to give them like insight on how it went and stuff like that. So yeah, I'm glad that I've like been out there and like seen it. Yeah.
Why do you think that's important?
Because I think what made me want to do it so much is because I think of what we're taught in school about, you know, the civil rights movement, and how they had to go out and had to protest because they didn't really have the technology that we have now. Like, you couldn't just pass around a petition. So it was really nice to be like the moving feet to make change. Like, I can, like I said, I told my parents, like, I'll be able to tell my children that when this happened, I was like out there with the rest of my city marching for change. While it's important to like post on social media and everything, for me, I know that I wanted to, you know, be out there.
Yeah. Anyone else wants to share what they've been doing?
I'll share. So, yes, I did it. What the?
We lost Cheyenne. What happened? Okay, so she has to come back in. So anyone else wants to talk? Kayla?
Yeah, for me, I also, unfortunately, I didn't get to participate in any of the demonstrations or the marches and stuff, but I also took the time out to, you know, sign petitions, and, you know, on like, you know, George Floyd and Tamar Rice and, you know, Breonna Taylor and all of them, you know, and kind of, because at this point, you know, when you're like nonchalant about it, and I really took the time to educate myself on, you know, all these issues, because I really wanted to understand, you know what I mean? Like, I really wanted to put myself in their shoes in that moment. Like, I wanted to because we always try to ignore what's going on, because like, oh, it's like, well, it's not happening to me, you know what I'm saying? But I wanted to go in, and I wanted to be like, you know what, let me sit down and actually, you know, take the time to read about Black history and become, you know, a lot aware about it. And I've been devastated, absolutely devastated. And it's been such an eye opener. And I took the time to not only do that, but educate, you know, family members and stuff like that, you know, because we all take it's been really tough, you know. It's been really tough, but it's been worth it, you know.
Yeah.
It's been worth it. And yeah, that's all I have to say.
Yeah, it's been tough. It really has been. And if it's tough for adults, I can't imagine how hard it is for teenagers and even younger children. Cheyenne?
Oh, for I attended this Kneel for Nine event. It was a protest, and it was amazing. I liked what the preacher was saying. The pastor was like preaching about it, and that was a lovely speech that he said. And I enjoyed kneeling for 9 minutes in honor of George Floyd. I feel like having protest overall for the movement is just beautiful, you know? And I have been trying to kind of educate myself and also educate my siblings about this as well, and educate other people, if I can, about George Floyd and the racism and stuff. So yeah.
Yeah, very good, everyone. Noah, did you want to add anything? I really... Noah?
Yes.
Okay, did you want to add something?
I mean, everybody has good answers, and I'm just over here wondering what I have done.
You're
And
here?
then, huh?
You being here right now is doing something towards the movement. We're having a discussion and you're being a part of the discussion. That's what I like about what everybody has said. Everybody has said something different about signing petitions, about educating themselves, about having conversations, and conversations is always important. So you being here today is a way that you are affecting change, is a way that you are standing with Black Lives Matter, or even if not just the name itself, it's a way that you are standing up for yourself and for your family and for the Black community, right? Because so we can protest, we can do peace walks, we can pray, we can do all the things that you guys have talked about, and there is not one that's better than the other because they're all needed, right? Would you guys agree? And I think that's very important. So you being here today, Noah, and being a part of this conversation, even if you're just listening, is something good that you are doing towards it. So thank you for joining, right? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't want to make it so formal. So if you guys have anything to say, you guys can always jump in, like when we have our normal time together and you have something to say, please feel free to say that. And so what, going forward, right, what do you think you can do, ways you can help the movement in the future? Because of course, I think Kayla said it and a few other of you said it. Sierra certainly said it. Sierra, did you have something to add in terms of what you've been doing? You didn't speak yet.
Not really, because yeah, I did the Kneel for Nine, and yeah, I haven't really had in-depth discussions except for like this. So yeah.
Yeah. And so, you know, you all, several of you, like I said, Sierra, Kayla, several of you have talked about going forward. So what are some of the things going forward that you are thinking about doing, or that you can encourage other young people to do? What would that look like, and what would that be?
Can I go first?
Yes, ma'am.
I definitely, next time, oh my God, I definitely want to go and participate in several marches, definitely, and at some point donate. You know, I really want to try and donate, even if it's like $5, like just, you know, something, you know, because something is better than nothing. You know what I mean?
I totally agree
And
with Kayla. Donation is very important, because even if you can do nothing else, that's one of the things that when I post on social media, I said, because a lot of people may not have time to do anything else, like, so you can donate, you know, you can volunteer, even if that's just folding envelopes or mailing out, handing out flyers or pamphlets or mailing them out. so a donation is really a good thing, and every bit count, like you said. Who else wants to go?
I do want to like have more Zoom calls. Like it'd be really cool if we could have like if I had a Zoom call with a group of my friends and we just talked about everything going on, and attend more protests, definitely, just so to like see the impact and feel a part of that, like Janessa had said, and just like get everything out, because it is overwhelming and it's really like, it is sad, so talking about it really helps. And then if you want things to happen, then you have to make a plan, and so I think that's what I could do.
Yes, conversations. Continue the conversations. Don't stop the conversations, right? Because that conversation is important, because that's the way information gets passed down, right? Is through us having conversations. And then like Kayla had mentioned before, we have to know a Mackenzie. We have to read and know what we're talking about and not just take someone's words for it. So when we're sharing with people, we're sharing the relevant information. And Sierra, I think it's a good point to talk with your peers, right? Because you guys can connect on a different level than you and I, or even you and Mackenzie and Kayla and Janessa would connect because of your age differences, even though you do connect here. So I think that's good. Someone else? Moving forward, what will you want to do?
I'll go.
Okay, go ahead, Cheyenne.
Okay. Moving forward, I would like to discussions about this with peers as well. I'd like to try to probably talk about any protests that they've been to, see if they've even attended any, and just discuss about the whole racial relationship between the police and Black people in first place, like the relationship between them, and like how it has been going on for a long time. I would like to have a discussion with them at some point, and just try to educate them as well if they are unaware of some things, and try to educate my family as well if they don't know anything. So yeah, that's all.
I love that, Cheyenne. I love that, the fact that, you want discussions between the Black community and police officers, because like you said, if just in case they don't understand what's been happening, we have to come to the table and have discussions as to what is going on and why it is going on. And it's true, like you said, to educate, your family. It starts at home with having conversations with your mom and your brothers, and each of us to have conversations in our homes with our families, and even our extended families outside our homes. But I really like that, and I really think dialogue with the police officers, as young as you guys are, we could all go and sit with the police officers and say, what can we do? What can we do to help our communities, to not be affected more by this, because we have to start somewhere. And I do believe they will want to hear us. They will welcome us, and maybe our community can be an example, right? We have to have some hope. So yes, who's next?
I'll go. So moving forward, for me personally, like a personal goal I had is that I wanted to start wearing my skin color dance wear. Like I didn't want to wear like the issue like ballet color, because of just the way it was originated, that's the color of your skin that you're supposed to be. And I don't want my dancing to be an example of that. Like, oh, look at her, she doesn't, that's not obviously not her skin color. So I've been looking at dance shoes, that trying to figure out which ones like will work best and which one matches my skin color the best, just so I can feel more at home in the dance world, which is already racist as it is.
Mm-hmm.
And then also, I really want to raise money for the Black Lives Matter organization. I was talking to a friend last week. She was like, we should get some like t-shirt ideas that people can buy, and all the money will go. So yeah, I've been working on that too.
Yeah, I think that's good, Janessa, because that's where you're at, right? You're in dance, and to represent that with your skin color, that's been something new that's just come out, you know. And so to be a younger generation and to say, this is what I want to do. I want it to reflect who I am. So I need to be seen like everyone else is very important. And to raise money again, like others have said, for the Black Lives Matter movement or other movements, right? Or other groups, because there's several
Right.
organizations out there that are for justice for people of color or anybody that's been, you know, marginalized people. So yeah, so that's very important. Mackenzie?
For me, kind of what Kayla and, well, all of them have said, just continuing to educate and have what may be an uncomfortable conversation with people I know, just to get them talking about it, just get them thinking about it, have them petition, donate, do something like that. Anything helps to get the word out. So yeah, that's what I'd like to do continuing forward.
And that's very important. And so right here on my screen, as I'm looking at us, most of us have some color, right? We're people of color. Do you guys have friends? Do you guys have Hispanics and white friends? Tell me about that. Have you had discussion with your friends? Do you have friends outside of your race? Let's share that for a moment. And how has this, if any, affected your relationships, good or bad? Anybody?
Can I go?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Oh,
go, Kenzie.
A lot of my friends are of a different race. I'd like to think I don't discriminate against whoever it is. I like to take into account someone's personality for skin color. So a lot of my friends are a different race than me. However, I have had conversations with some of my white friends, Hispanic friends, Asian friends, whatever. And we have brought this up, and I feel like a lot of them feel bad, or like this is an awkward, like really awkward conversation, and some of them try to avoid it, but for the most part, a lot of my friends have been showing support for this movement, for me, for other friends who may be Black. I really liked what one of my friends said. He was white, and he said, "I'm really sorry that I'm not experiencing this with you." And he's like, "I won't ever know what it's like to be subjected to this, but just know, like, I'm here for you." And it meant a lot, because it was like when it first started happening, and I just logged off of social media, and the first thing I saw when I got on was that. So it really did help. It was really nice hearing that from, you know, someone of a different race, saying that even though they won't experience it, they understand that this is a hard time and they hope to be there. So yeah, it was really nice.
I agree, Kenzie. When people say that to me too, of different race, it is really nice to hear it, because you realize they do care, even though they can never fully understand it. Yeah. Anybody else? We have a few more minutes, about 4 minutes left. Wanted to add to that, or if not to that, any last words you want to say to people who are going to watch this? What do you want to say? What's the message you want to leave people with?
I guess I'll say something.
Yeah, we have everybody. Okay, so Cheyenne quickly, and then Kayla.
Okay, sorry. A positive message I'd like to say to those who will be watching this. Just stay strong and just know that everything will be okay.
Yeah.
Like our brothers and sisters of color have dealt with this before, you know? And like, even though it's still going on now, we have been fighting for justice and equality forever, and we've always won. So like, don't think that this fight is going to end a different way. You know,
Don't
we are
think.
going to make it through this. We are going to overcome the situation.
Yeah.
And, you know, just stay with your family, stay with your friends. And yeah.
Yeah. Cheyenne, I'm
Black
sorry. I didn't
power.
want to miss Black Power. I didn't want to miss what you said. You said something about don't think that this fight is what? In what did you say?
Like don't think that this fight will be like all in vain or anything,
Saying,
because like all the other um movements and fights that the Black community has been having with the government, they've all ended in a good way. We've all made a good impact in the world, you know. Malcolm X, Sojourner Truth, Dr. King, and so many other activists and people during the time, you know, they've all made their mark, and it's all done something to impact everybody, not just Black people, but other colored people and also white people as well. We are now integrated, you know. There was a time when we were not integrated, and because of those fights, slavery's over, we're integrated. And yes, there are still problems, but it used to be a lot worse. So we should all be grateful that our ancestors and our past family members were able to fight for the justice and the freedom we have today.
Yes.
And even though we're still fighting for it, because equality is, well, not exactly here yet, we will win this fight. We just have to stay strong and have faith, you know, and pray. God is in our favor. We have to remember that God's in our favor, and He will help us through this time.
Yes, very good, Cheyenne. Kayla, what were you were going to share an experience with us?
Yes. Now, you never really know if it's race related or not, but here's the, because it couldn't have been anything else, you know. So this was back when I was doing club track, you know, and this was back in North Carolina. Or was it South? No, it was North. It was North Carolina. Yeah, and it was me and my and Maya, you know, another African American friend, and we were at the mall and we were walking around together, and we had walked into this dollar store or whatever. And the thing was, though, that us two, we were the only ones in the store, and we just walked in, you know, just to look around. We didn't really think we were gonna buy anything, you know. We just, you know, just walking around. But we could tell that, you know, there was like a shopkeeper there that like just had their eye on us the entire time, like literally the entire time. And we were just sitting there like, oh, okay, we're just, you know, walking around, you know, we're not really doing anything, you know. But like literally he had his eye on us from when we walked in to when we walked out. And it was kind of like, come on, man, like we weren't finna do nothing. Like it wasn't even like that, you know what I mean? But you could sit there and tell that it felt like he thought that we were going to steal something or other. And it's like, sir, we are not going to steal nothing from your dollar store, man. We're not going to do that. But, you know, it didn't really feel, it felt bad. Like, we felt bad after we left. We were like, oh, my God. Like, that situation was irritating. And that's just what I wanted to share. That's what I was like, it was terrible.
Yeah, it is terrible. I know I've experienced that, and I'm sure many of us have. And those who are watching and hearing can say, "Man, I've had an experience, maybe more than one of that." Yeah, and it's somewhat humiliating and yeah, sad. Uh, Sorry you had to go through that. Any final thoughts, Kayla?
Um,
Encouragement.
yeah, just stay strong. They can't get us all. They can't get us all. Oh, you know what I mean? Like, if we all stand together, they cannot get us all. You know what I mean? If we all stand together, then we will get through this. We have so many people in our arsenal that it's amazing, and that we can defeat this. We can get through this. Obviously, it's not going to be cut and dry. This isn't going to be a short battle. Like how I've seen the Montgomery bus boycott lasted literally over a year. Like,
Yes.
this isn't just gonna be a 2-week thing. It's not a trend. It's not
Yes.
just gonna pass over us. We're not. It's not over until we say it's over. That's the thing. Not over till we say it's over. And so we just have to stay strong
Yeah, good
and get through
words.
this together.
Stay strong. I love that. I love that. We definitely have to stay strong. And like Cheyenne said, to remain positive and to think, even though we haven't accomplished everything that we want to accomplish, to focus on the things that we did accomplish. Yes, we are integrated. I think maybe there's still some segregation somewhere in southern parts where but we are integrated. I can,
downtown.
yeah, and sundown towns, no, but that we can be integrated and it not be a crime. So there have been some improvements. So we're not, although we're not saying hooray for the because we think we should be further along, but to think about that, yes, like Cheyenne said, Sojourner Truth and Martin Luther King and Malcolm X and everybody before us that has fought for something, they fought long and hard, and they got us, we're inching our way forward, and it's my generation and your generation that's going to have to take the baton and run with it, but to focus on, we did get somewhere when we stood up and let our voices be heard and we acted. So thank you, Cheyenne, for reminding us that we need to stay positive, and there have been some positive things that have happened, and we have to go forward. And like Kayla said, they can't get us all, so we gotta just do this, link arms together. Yes. Who wants to go next?
I guess I'll go next. Oh,
They always do that.
yeah, we always do.
Nobody wants to go, then everybody wants to go. Okay.
Do you want to go, Kenzie?
No, it's okay. You can go.
Okay. So, yeah, staying strong, and just like, you do have to focus on the positive things, because the negative things can really like just get to you, and if you focus too much on that, then you're not really going to get anywhere. And everything happening, it's really sad, and it's just like, it can be overwhelming, but if you just focus on like what we are doing and the things that have happened because we fought back, then it'll overpower the negative, and you just have to keep on going and just do what you have to do, and it will get better eventually.
Yeah, good job, Sarah. And that's the operative word, eventually. We have to keep on going. We can't give up and we can't stop. Yes, even though it's very hard, we have to keep moving. Who's next?
I was watching her face. So for me, like, one thing that I keep telling myself is there is no possible way that we lose. Like, yeah, like Cheyenne said, God is on our side. Like, there's no possible outcome where the white supremacists win or the racists win. It's just, it doesn't work out that way. Like, in every movie, like, about, even if it's not about, like racism or anything like that, the good side always wins. And I think that's something that for me, like, the good is gonna win. Like, I just know, like, we all know. So that's something that keeps me like positive and like ready to push forward. Also listening to like music that's kind of related to this issue, because like if you're getting it into your system, like this is what's happening, but also how amazing the Black culture is. Just indulge in that, like watch movies, your favorite movies from that Black people have started or anything. It just makes you feel more encouraged, because like it shows you that we are able to do the same things as everyone else, as long as we keep fighting.
Then keep fighting. Yes. Mackenzie?
I just hope that we continue to do this. Like Kayla said, this isn't a 2-week thing. We got all of the officers arrested through our show of disappointment with all of the protests that we've been doing, the petitions that we've been signing, and we just gotta keep pushing for other arrests of people, reform of the police system, stuff like that. This isn't the end of it, and I hope we continue to keep pushing for change, because I don't think it's anywhere near over for us, but
Yeah, I love that, both of you. So reform, the police departments all over this nation. And as thank you, Mackenzie, for that. And as Janessa says, we have to believe. We have to, and I think that's a big part of it, that we have to have hope that it has to get better, right? We have to believe that good conquers evil, and there's no other word for someone hurting someone else just based on the color of their skin. So that's what we believe, and that's what we hold on to, and then we enact change. We work towards change. And so, Noah, I thank you for joining with us today and to be a part of the conversation. That is, like I said, that is really a good and a positive move. To be a part, if that's all someone does is be a part of the conversation, because sometimes people are like, I don't know what to do. I'm not out there protesting. I'm not out there signing petitions. I'm not doing any of these things, but you're engaging in conversations even if it's in your home, that's very important. So again, thank you, ladies, for joining. Today, this is our regular group time, but thank you for agreeing to do this. I thank your parents very much for allowing you guys to do this, to be a part of this. I love each and every one of you, and I just want to tell you guys to stand strong in that skin that you are in, with your kinky hair and your curly hair and whatever hair God gave you. Be proud of it, and the skin tone you've got, be proud of it, and the your size, your body shape, just be proud of everything and who you are, and let your voice be heard. Seniors, let your voice be heard. If you go back into the school or if it's virtual, freshmen, let your voice be heard. 7th grader, let your voice be heard. You guys did a great job on this panel today as young people, and I truly appreciate you guys for being brave enough to do this. A lot of adults are not brave enough to do it, right? And we don't judge them, but we thank you for being brave, and I love you guys. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
You're welcome. Bye.
Bye.
Yes.
Did we want to end with what we normally say?
Okay, sure.
I think it's really good to end so we can tell people to get empowered. Who we gonna empower first? Empower you, empower me, empower together. Let's do it again. Empower you, empower me, empowered together. Yes. So first, empower yourself with knowledge so you can go out there and empower your sisters and brothers. And so together we can empower the world. Okay, ladies, we're out.